I got thinking about other like Canadian things. I was thinking we have this absolutely amazing artist, Becca Mankari, who's opening for us on this tour. Yeah, so fantastic. I'm going to talk about her more later, so you can hold your applause for now. But we've been texting a little bit about Canadian things because I don't know if you saw the video, but when Sara and I offered the tour to Becca, she texted us and said, "I can't wait to see Canada." And I was like, "You're gonna see Ontario," but it's great. It's great. But today she texted something like, "Dude, what are these?" And it was a bag of ketchup chips. And I was thinking about when Sara and I were, because we were teenagers when we started the tour. It was like, literally, people said 3 things to us when we left Canada. When we said we were Canadian, they'd say, "Oh, Canada, eh?" That was the first thing they would always say. I know, it's annoying. The second thing they would say was how cold it was, which is also both true and not true. And the third thing they would say is weird potato chip flavors. And I think it's so funny. Like the other day I was watching, don't ask me why, but like fell into like a Ryan Gosling K-hole on TikTok, and he was doing some press in the US for Barbie, and they brought out all dressed chips and ketchup chips. Like it was like a thing. Like they were so excited to show him Canadian chips because he's Canadian. Don't you think that's weird that we do things like that to people? Like they're like, "Oh my God, you're from Canada. I'm gonna show you Canadian chips and see how you react." That's weird, right? It's fine. I mean, it happens to us, and I get stoked. I love chips, so it's great. But this next song is a song of Sara's off of If It Was You. We both decided to cover a song of each other, so Sara did that beautiful version of You Went Away. Before you lock in your vote, I'm gonna play you Underwater. Remember? Was it Star Search? They had to lock in your vote? Who cares, whatever, but lock in your vote. I don't know, I just remember that from childhood and you had anyway. But I like this song. I remember feeling really envious of Sara when we would go play, because back in this era, we were mostly playing to a lot of people who didn't really know who we were. We were opening for people a lot. And I think it's why we always go out of our way to really try to find someone special to open for us, because it's a tough gig playing in front of someone else's audience. And there were I always felt like Sara's songs went over better than me back then. And I feel like a lot of the reasons why Sara always says I kind of got like rappy, like I sang like so many words, but I think it was because I just didn't want any dead spaces. I was so afraid of what profanity or sexual harassment would happen in the breaks of songs. So I was just like, if I just sing the entire time with no break, I won't hear it, And
this song has absolutely no breaks. It's why I kind of dislike the song so much.
Well, but see, I was envious because when you would sing it, it was like, I felt people always really like home. I felt at your age, you were 21 when you wrote it, it showed, I thought, wow, she seems so mature, It felt very like, it felt like academic or something,
That's so sad. But listen, the thing that sticks with me a lot with songs like this, not all of our material, but there's certain songs in our repertoire, and we're both guilty of it. In today's climate, I think that we might be canceled. And
for this song that I have to play now?
Well, yeah, a little bit. I mean,
I've said that it was Sara's song, everyone heard it, right? This wouldn't be the one that I would like if I was doing a TED Talk on how things have changed, this wouldn't be the one that I would like bring out as the prime example. That would be your song, Stop Desire. But I do think that there was this sort of kind of like we did not appreciate the kind of like boundaries that people now, younger people now, especially people using the internet, I think it would have seemed somewhat problematic, don't ruin the song. You should be having this chat after. No, but I just mean we used to sing these songs.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
give us a line.
Yeah, like I just mean like we used to sing a lot about our sort of devotion would be the word that I would use, and some might see that as being like non-consenting pursuit. I don't know how to say it better than that. It just means like I think that we sort of thought we were endearing in our sort of like
I always dated the people I pursued.
yeah, no, eventually, because you wore them down, which would be somewhat problematic by today's standards. Like Tegan always had this, just as an example, Tegan has this story about this relationship that did become a consenting long-term relationship that she had.
It was always a consenting. You're preferencing it in a weird way.
Well, I'm just using today's young people language, and I'm just saying that there was a point in that relationship.
I'm young, so I use that language.
The point is just there was when we were touring and we were like having life experiences right before we made this album, this album of If It Was You, there was a relationship and Tegan was pursuing someone who gave her a very specific boundary, said, don't call me anymore, and Tegan continued to call her so many times that the woman changed her phone number. And then they dated, and that's the silver lining to the story.
Those are all factual things, but the context is what's missing in 2024. She wasn't someone that I liked and she gave me a boundary. We were in a deep, committed, in love relationship.
This sounds like excuses for stalking her. But
Hold on. Hey, I didn't interrupt. We were in a deep relationship and then she told me that her family had tried to kidnap her and then she stopped, said not to call her anymore, and I was concerned for her life. I did call her probably 30 times in a day, and she did change her phone number, but then once we got all that figured out, we dated for 6 years. I think the context is important in that story, but you were talking about Underwater, which is the song I'm about to play.
Yeah, well, I was just saying, like, at that time in our lives, there was a sort of like one-sidedness to the way that
We're also friends. She's great. Hey, what's up? If you see this on the internet.
I'm just trying to say that I have more self-awareness now about how a song might come off, especially for a person who's sort of like voiceless in the
Because the chorus is just you singing "All I Need Is Time to Love You."
Yeah, I don't know, I literally hate this song so much. I hate it so much. And I think it's partly because of the like it sort of starts with like, okay, so Underwater sets a sort of like water nautical theme, but sorry, Tegan's just giving some notes about sound in her private microphone, which also doesn't feel consensual. But anyways, so it starts with a sort of nautical theme. It's really set by the title of it, Underwater. And then very quickly by verse 2, we move into prison. Right, there's like if I went to jail.
Also problematic.
Yeah, it is problematic by today's standards. And I didn't know that back then, even to not joke about prison. And then it was like, and then there was a whole thing about like, it gets more sort of like,
it's stalkery a bit. And it's like, should we cut it?
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying, is that when I listen to the song, I'm like, why are you all over the map with your analogies and your metaphors? And then also like, whoa, dude, relax. Like then, so second verse goes into, I left signs on your lawn, tell me where have you gone? Or no, sorry. Yeah, something about
I'll
that.
just sing it, and then
it's fucking, but it just sounds desperate.
Write some notes.
It sounds desperate, and I just want to put it into context for people who are now like maybe Gen Z in the audience. Like, the internet took so long. It took so long to even email like things that like I don't know how to explain it except to say that like liking someone was so analog. It was so difficult. That this didn't seem to be that big of a deal. Like now it would seem like a bit thirsty or sweaty or whatever kids are saying now, but like it seemed normal to just write a song like this because that's how long it just took to even tell someone that you liked them. So by the time you told them, they were already in a relationship with you and liked you. But like by today's standards, it is weird. So, and proceed.
Hi. I'm Tegan. I'm going to cover this Sara song now that may or may not be problematic. It's called Underwater.